welcome back to my tarot series. I'm really hoping that you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. Today we're going to continue with the second card. This will be part 2. So if you didn't see the Fool, I will link that one down below. I hope you enjoy my tarot series, and let's just jump in and get started. So today is the Magician, and the meanings for the Magician are, there are many, and the Magician also has different names as well. It could be the Magus or the Juggler. Okay, so some of the meanings could be harnessing power, talents, capabilities, resourceful, tap into your full potential, ability to transform, determined, strong, powerful, skilled, has practice within its talent, conscious awareness, belief in yourself, manifestation, inspired, action, nurture a skill that is promising. If the card appears reversed or is surrounded by cards that in a way don't complement that specific card or don't complement the Magician in a specific way that's like positive. So technically what I'm trying to say is, if the cards surrounding the Magician aren't looking too good or aren't looking a positive way, then technically you can consider this to be the reversed. Okay, so I don't read reverse cards because I feel like it could be reversed due to the fact that maybe while I was shuffling the cards, it was already reversed and then it falls reversed. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And I read cards that jump out regardless. So however it jumps out, I know then how to take that card. I just don't really read reverse cards, but everybody does tarot their own way. So if the card does appear reversed, or if the surrounding cards are reflecting maybe something going on, so, like a situation or something, then you could also look into these meanings as well, which are manipulation, poor planning, untapped talent or potential, a person being deceived, or that person being deceiving. So it could be, multiple scenarios. Uncertain of yourself, struggle to see progress or success. So you struggle to see progress or success. Greed, trickery, a feeling that something is off, and illusions. So whenever you see the Magicians, these are some meanings that can help you when you're trying to build that story or connect the dots, as you could say, when you have a spread of cards. Okay, I also wanted to include some of the meanings that I have found in a book that I have. The name of the book is The Ultimate Book of Shadows for the New Generation Solitary Witch, and it's by Silver Ravenwolf, and it looks like this, kind of big. It has like 600 pages. No, I'm lying. I'm sorry. Not 600 pages. But about the last page is 590. So yeah, you could say about. So in here, there's like so much information. Like literally, I don't know if you can see how thick this is, but they do have a section for tarot. And the Magician, the meaning of the Magician in this book is having the power to change thought into form, creative control and mastery, time to take action and seize opportunities, skill and initiative. And the astrological association to this particular card is the planet Mercury. Okay, So that is the meaning to the Magician. Now, there's a couple things that I wanted to discuss today as well. Something that I didn't mention in my last video. Something that I want my viewers to know. When I was younger, not obviously, but I believed, in magic and everything. I still do, of course. But what I'm trying to say is that when you're not knowledgeable in an area in your life, or in something that you're interested but you're not knowledgeable in it, you can easily be manipulated or easily be deceived. A good way or a good segue to the Magician today. So I also want to include in these tarot videos life experiences as to what has happened to me, and then correlating it to the card in itself. So when you don't know, let's say for example tarot, right, and that's what we're doing with this series, is learning about each card, and then being able to read them all together. Not all together like all 78, but being able to read a spread, or being able to read the cards that jump out, or to read or if you see that somebody's giving you a reading and you see these cards, that you're not easily deceived. Because I have been to places where people like pull me and say, oh my god, I could feel your aura, I can like you need a reading, like it's really necessary, like there's something going on with you, I feel like evil surrounding you, and fear is one of those tools that people use that are strategically done so that they can get your money. That's what I want to say. And sometimes you may be in a point in your life that you're like, you know what, I do feel that way, I do feel like bad things keep happening to me, I'm always in constant bad situations, I'm surrounded by bad people, like negative energy all the time, like let me just do a reading just to see what's going on, right? This is just a scenario, putting it out there. I mean, this has happened to me. So I remember, I think I went to Dunkin' Donuts, and this lady approached me. She was like, oh, I do tarot cards, and I'm interested in it so much that I was like, oh my god, like I really needed this, like I really need someone to read the cards for me, like I really want to know where am I in my life right now. Because I do believe like that we are reborn into this world, like a karmic cycle sort of thing. So because of my beliefs and everything like that, and my spiritual awakening, and I'm wanting to learn more, and I also wanted to have a mentor, I was just like searching for knowledge, like in any way form possible, right? So when this lady appears to me, I'm like, oh my god, it must be a sign that that the universe wants to tell me something, or there's a message that I need to hear. So I follow her to her house. I know, scary movie, right? Don't ever do that. Don't ever just go with some random person that you don't know into their house. But hey, I was young and naive. And in my head, I thought, what can this old lady do to me? That was my mindset. But please don't do that. Take my life experiences and what I've been through, and do not, like, take them as lessons and do not repeat them. So basically is what I'm trying to say. But anywho, so I go into our apartment, and she wanted the money right away, like straight up. She was like, oh, give me the money. I forgot how much she was charging. Don't remember if it was like $20 or something like that, but don't remember how much she was charging. But she was charging money, but she wanted that up front. She didn't want to do the reading before she got paid. And I was like, okay. So I put the money on the table, and her place looked creepy too, like but anywho, so I'm there, and she does my cards, and she reads them, and everything's like negative. Everything is just like, oh my goodness, just like bad things are happening, boom, and she's just flipping the cards, slapping them on the table, telling me, "Ooh, this is gonna happen to you," and boom, boom. And I'm like, oh my God, how is this possible? Like who wants this for me? Like, why? What have I done that's so bad that, a person wants bad things to happen to me? Like, I don't get it. And she's just like, woo, like throwing cards everywhere, and it's just like everything that she was flipping over, every card she was flipping over was negative. Nothing was positive, right? And then after the reading, I'm like left more like wanting more answers. I have more questions, because she didn't even allow me to ask a lot of the questions. She was just throwing them down and just telling me how it is, and whatever. Little did I know is that all what she wanted to do was take my money, but I didn't see it that way at that time, right? So, oh, my leg, sorry. So, my leg from SpongeBob. Whenever I hear somebody talking about their leg, I always think about that in SpongeBob when they be saying, "Oh, my leg." But anywho, I know I'm like that. Sorry about that. But anywho, so back to my story. So yeah, so this lady is just being negative and whatever, and she finishes, and so I'm left with more questions than I had in the beginning, so I'm asking myself, I'm telling her, I'm like, oh my God, like, who wants to harm me? Who wants, bad things for me? Like, why is this happening? And I'm throwing all these questions out there because I'm like, damn, she knows, because she does tarot. So I'm like, I have, how do you call it? Like, you have, let's bring it back to the card. You have this magician in front of you, this all-knowing, person, that knows what's going on. Apparently, in my head, apparently she knows everything that's going on in my life. But anywho, she was like, oh, I can't answer any more I can't answer any more of your questions. This is what you need to do. And I'm like, oh. She's like, I'm gonna give you a spell, and this spell is gonna break all evil that is coming your way. And I'm like, ooh, okay. And she's like, but this spell is gonna cost you. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, in my mind, I'm like, okay, all these things are coming to me. I need to protect myself some way, somehow. Like, do I need a what you call it, like a talisman? Do I need a circle of protection? Do I need to carry something in my purse? Like, I'm like really like scared. So she's like, oh no, this spell is gonna cost you $100, and if it doesn't work the first time, you're gonna have to come back and pay more money, so that I can do the spell for you, and I'll have this spell here, and it will work because it's under my hands, but you have to do it first, basically. And I think what she told me, what was it again? I mean, I was so young when this happened. She told me I had to get like an egg. I don't know. I think a boiled egg. Was it a boiled egg? And put it in a white bowl and put it underneath my bed. Something like that. I don't know. I don't remember, but it was something like that. And then I had to say something or whatever. And then I told her, I was like, okay, no, thank you. I don't want to do that. She's like, no, but you must. And she just kept like pushing it on me. And then she's like, oh. And then she started showing me candles that cost like $30, and that I had to turn on these candles because if I don't turn on these candles, bad things will happen to me, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay. So then, thank God, young me saw that it was like sort of like a money scheme or a money trap or whatever. Like, she wasn't really interested in my future. She really wasn't interested on my behalf. She wasn't interested in helping me. Once I saw that, and once I saw all she really wanted was my money, I just told her no thank you, and I walked out and kept it going. So the point is that you have, for the people that do go to get their tarot cards read, the purpose of this series is so that you could be knowledgeable if you do want these services that are provided by other people. Because when I saw this lady throwing down cards, right, left, right, and they were all bad, I don't know what those cards mean, you know. To her, she's seeing, you know, the heavens are moving, you know, there's a storm coming, she saw lightning, all these things, and I'm looking at the cards. I don't see that in the cards, but I believe what she says. And you know, when you're ignorant to if you're ignorant to your surroundings and you just don't know, you know, it's not your fault, but you know, you do have the tools to learn and grow, basically. So that's, you know, another reason why I wanted to start this tarot series, because when that happened to me and I thought to myself, I'm like, damn, there's no way possible that every single card that jumped out with this lady was something bad that was gonna happen to me. So yeah, let's move on. That was my little story time connecting to the cards, but let's move on to the cards, okay? So like I stated before in my first video for the Fool, I only have 2 tarot decks, and these are the tarot decks that I'm going to be using today. However, I will put the traditional Right-Away card image over here so you could see that imagery, because that's the traditional imagery for the Magician. However, there are some similarities, which is really good, but not always. Sometimes the artist of the card may go a whole completely different route, and then that's when you can get confused. I mean, unless you remember, okay, when you see the title Magician and you automatically associate it to all these meanings, good for you. But I'm a visual learner, so I focus more on the imagery of the card. So if the imagery in the card, in the deck, okay. Let's go back. I know I sounded like a turkey, but let's go back. So if you if a card pops out, right, like the Magician pops out, and the imagery in that card is just like all over the place and you just don't know what's going on, it's going to be very hard for you to do the reading to begin with. So that's why I say imagery is very important. And I want you to, whenever I put the imagery up, I do want you to focus on the imagery on both cards and the card that I'm reading, so that you can pick up on little symbols that maybe you may see in a deck that you've purchased that might not be the Right-Away tarot deck, or that might not be the tarot decks that I own. But it's a good way to learn. So let's start off with the Archangel Power tarot deck. This is the one we're starting off with today, and I will link this down below in the description bar if you want to purchase it as well. And with the Archangel Power tarot deck, each card has an angel connected with the card, okay? So, the Magician. Oops, dropped it. The Magician. Let's zoom up in there so you can see it. Okay, so the Magician and the Archangel that goes along with this card, and forgive me if I mispronounce this, but hey, what we gonna do? Okay, so the angel that correlates to this is Archangel Razel, and the card has a little message in the bottom too. I like these tarot decks because it has little messages in the bottom, so if you do freeze up and when you see the imagery and you're just like, ooh, I don't remember nothing, like any of the meanings for this card, the little meaning or the little message that's on the bottom of the card can also help you. Okay, so it says you can manifest the life you want. What you need with will magically appear. Successful beginnings. So that's what it says. Right, so let's read the meaning in the guidebook. All right. The Magician. You have the magical touch of angels on your side. New projects that you start will be very successful. You have all the resources you need, even if you can't see them at this time. You may be underestimating your skill and knowledge that you have accumulated. You're prepared for this moment in your life, and the road ahead is safe and sure. When Archangel Raziel presents, with Archangel Raziel beside you, additional assistance in the form of guidance, supportive people, or a windfall of abundance will seem to magically appear. Anything is possible. However, to receive this help, you have to confidently take action. You must move forward with your plans in a way that displays to others and to yourself that you have no doubt as to your coming of success. Additional meanings to this card whenever you see it pop out: creative solutions, skill, and confidence, the ability to manifest, focused action, taking the initiative. And then there's a little message here for the angel. So Raziel is a magical archangel who can guide you in conjuring the life you dream of living. The wizard-like angel sits near the throne of God and is privy to all the holy secrets necessary to help you manifest and amazing opportunities for yourself. What wish are you trying to make come true? Archangel Raziel, for assistance when you need resources of any kind to facilitate what you're trying to create. So isn't that beautiful? So that is the Magician, the meaning in the guidebook. Okay? So then we have the card. Let's look at the imagery very quickly, and then we'll move on to the Celestial Tarot deck. And I will be putting the Waite Tarot deck somewhere here, showing you so that you could compare the imagery. There is an angel in the back, I see, and there is a similar sign, which is the infinity sign that I know that the Rider-Waite deck does have. And the angel is holding like a staff, like helping him, I guess, walking away. And then the Magician itself, oh my goodness, I forget what's that word. It reminds me of steampunk. I think that's what it is. Steampunk, yeah. I hope that that's what it is. Comment down below if that's what it what it is. But he has like those little, I don't know what you call them. They're oh my goodness. Well, you'll see it in the imagery, but he has it on his hat. But he literally has magic in his hands. It's literally like a rainbow, and it sparkles. There's what appears to me a rainbow in the background as well. He looks like he's on some sand. He could possibly be on a beach or maybe like a desert. And then he has a lamp. If y'all ever seen the movie Aladdin, it looks like the lamp from Aladdin. So when you think of Aladdin, you think of the genie and the 3 wishes. So you can definitely connect that to the Magician. Basically like saying, okay, you can make things happen. Believe in yourself and all the attributes that you have, and that you can manifest your dreams. You can manifest your goals. Anything that you really want to accomplish in life, anything that you want, you can make it happen. Yes. Okay, so this is what I see for this card. So when I see that lamp, and let's say everything else in the imagery is like confusing me, I think of Aladdin, I think of 3 wishes, I think of possibilities, I think about growth, I think about manifestation of dreams, of opportunities, and of them being successful. Okay, so the Magician. Ooh. All right, so moving on to the Celestial Tarot deck, and this is how the deck looks like. All right, and the card for the Celestial Tarot deck is completely different from the last imagery, but I will put imagery of the magician in the corner so you could see it. Yeah, so different from the last imagery. But see, this is what I'm saying about how important imagery is. It's like, if I pick up this deck, right, all the time, and I shuffle them, whatever, and that pops out, I'll have a good idea of the magician. But with this imagery, it might be a little bit more difficult for me, because with this imagery, it's more mythological. So I would have to be more knowledgeable about mythology. I mean, I do see some little things that I am aware of only because of Disney movies. And maybe some knowledge that I acquired from when I was in school in history class. But if I did not know, if I didn't watch them Disney movies, and if I never pay attention in history class, for example, I wouldn't know where these little symbols come from. But let's read the guidebook, okay? All right. So, the magician, the guiding gift of Mercury. Youthful Mercury is the magician ready to guide us through the labyrinth path ahead. Mercury is the surrogate of Uranus, initiating the fool into the game of life by endowing him with the skill necessary to outwit his opponents. When the magician is drawn, consciousness of goals as well as the will and genuine and intellect needed to pursue them is implied. In myth or in mythology, Mercury was aware of this from the beginning. As the patron of youth, he reminds us that we are filled with possibility and the energy to pursue them. The card signals a new phase filled with abundant spirit and momentum. A creative process is underfoot. The magician suggests an epiphany of the God who is ready to guide us across the threshold of change. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. So now looking into the imagery of the Celestial Tower deck, the magician, I can see definitely, I see some snakes and a staff that he's holding. I don't know if it's a staff or a wand, but there's a lot of wings here. So there's wings on his hat, wings on the shoes or sandals, that like those gladiator sandals that were used back then. Okay. So I would say that that's like a wand. But not even. I would say this is like a wand that is like combined by different things. Is a wand that has wings, snakes, and it looks like steam coming off of the top. All right. Okay, so in the guidebook, they did mention how the fool goes first and then comes the magician. So what I do notice is the waves from the last card that I showed you for the Celestial Tower deck, for the fool, do continue on towards this card. So in a way, to me, it's like, because you got to remember the major arcana, they all coincide with each other, because they're like a path. For each card is like a path. It's like you're it's a journey to enlightenment in a way. And I see the rocky waves in the back. Okay, so I'll remember that. And like, he's no longer on the rocky waves, right? He's almost like on, like almost like walking on water in a way, I guess you could say. So again, like the magician. So so whenever I see this, I'll think of walking on water. And there's a lot of wing imagery here. So I guess you could say like a lot of growth and possibilities of doing stuff and being able to manifest. What I'm noticing too is that the steam that's on the top is also going towards the bottom. So in a way, maybe that steam is what is allowing him to float. Maybe he's not walking on water. Maybe this steam that's being produced is like allowing him to float above the water. But yeah, so see, this imagery is a little bit tougher, but definitely what things that I can remember is to me, I see this steam that's helping him float. So in a way, it's like using the tools around you to get the job done, right? Almost saying like with the wings that you can grow, you can fly, you can do what you want to do, you can manifest, you can bring things into life, right? So that's what I see for this imagery. Please comment down below if you see anything else that jumps out to you in this card within the imagery. Please definitely let me know if you do see anything that jumps out to you that maybe I did not see. So yes, so that is the Magician for all of you. So we talked about the meanings. We talked about I talked about one of my little life story experiences, and I hope that this has helped you. I will put the timestamps in the description bar down below as well, in case if you want to skip around in this video, you can do so. And I hope that you are enjoying this tarot series as much as I am. Please stay kind and stay loving. Yeah, so I'll see you later. Please keep watching the tarot series that's coming up. There are 78 tarot cards, so there are 78 videos to come. So yeah, be ready for that. I hope you really enjoy. Comment, like, and subscribe down below. And please comment if you're really enjoying this tarot series. And please talk about the imagery. I love discussion. I love even ask me a question. And if I can answer it, I will shout you out in the video. And I'll leave a timestamp of when I answered your question. So yes. So I hope to see you guys later in another video. Stay tuned for so much more. Bye.